So I get a request every now and again to show out-of-print titles, so I figured we'll start with Scream Factory because I think I have a lot of them, and obviously I think all of them are in fact Blu-rays, because I don't know if they even have any 4K titles that are out of print yet. I guess maybe down the road there will be, but this is a stack of Blu-rays that are out of print, or at least I'm pretty sure they're out of print. What I did is I looked on Amazon, and if it was either only selling from an outside source, not Amazon, or if it just said unavailable and I didn't see it on the website, then it's in a stack. So if anything is kind of wishy-washy, I'll explain, but bear with me. Now, you're all waiting for a certain title to see if I have it. Well, I probably put it in the thumbnail, but one of the most coveted ones is Slumber Party Massacre 2 and 3. For some reason, when they put out the 4K, they did 1 and 2. They didn't do Part 3. Now, a lot of people will tell you they prefer Part 3 over Part 2, and I think I'm there too. It's hard to say. I like Part 3 a lot. Obviously, I really don't want... I think some people haven't seen it because it's been out of print, so I don't want to really spoil much about it. But it takes some twists and turns. I'll put it to you like that. What's going on with Part 3? We don't know. Will it ever show back up on physical media? Let's just hope so. Let's hope so, because I think a lot of people want to see these movies again in high def. 2 is available, obviously, with the 4K from Part 1, but 3, let's get that back in circulation, right? We need that back in circulation. That's a good title. It doesn't deserve to be lost in limbo. I mean, there's a lot of titles that keep getting shoved down our throats that we're, quite frankly, not that interested in, and there's other stuff that we're like, let's see it. And, you know, people were telling me that Kino Lorber apparently has the rights for the Sleepaway Camp sequels, and they have no desire to put out that filth. Kino, kiss my ass. Anyway, and I have the movies on Blu-ray, but it's the people that want it, right? The people that want it deserve it. And it sucks that they got to pay out-of-print titles or go to 88 Films, but I think they want the Scream Factory releases, and I get that. Next up, guys, is Howling 2. This movie's effing great. Sybil Danning is... Jesus, she's sexy as hell, man. I mean, look at her on the back. I love this movie. The rumor has it that Christopher Lee apologized to Joe Dante for being in this, which I think is hysterical. I love Howling 2. It's definitely the sexiest of all the Howling movies. It's a wild-ass movie, man. It's like, you know, they went off the rails from Part 2. Like, this is basically going past the movie of In Space, already in Part 2, just getting weird and wild. So I like this movie, but they definitely go all out right there. In terms of how much that's going for now, I don't think you can get that. I think you can get that fairly cheap. Now, what I would recommend is being region free. I know, Christian, you say that every video. You say it every video, Christian. Well, guess what? If you're region free, you can get the Arrow Video Blu-ray. You can get it pretty cheap. It may actually be region free, the Blu-ray itself. It's not marketed as region free, but every now and again those Arrow Blu-rays will be able to play, so check for that. Next up, guys, we've got Ghoulies 1 and 2. Now, the cool thing about this is you can get both of these from MVD right now. They're trying to get the situation for Ghoulies 2 on 4K under control, but they did put it out on Blu-ray, and both of these were great. Both of those MVDs are great releases. But this is a video showing off the out-of-print one, so here I'm showing it off. Some of my favorite movies. I'm a big Charlie Band fanatic, so of course I love these. Who doesn't love the Ghoulies, man? Look at that. It's the Ghoulies. I remember getting that at FYE, so it's been a number of years. Next up, I think this is out of print. I know for a fact that Vinegar Syndrome put out one of these movies. As far as the other one, The Godsend, I'm not sure, but this is a double pack of The Outing and The Godsend. The Outing's fun. It's also known as The Lamp, I think. Unless I'm getting confused. No, that's it. Look at that. On the front, it even shows it as The Lamp. And I think the Scream Factory Blu-ray, I mean, the Vinegar Syndrome, they went the other route, and they called it The Lamp. So, can't comment on this. I don't think I've ever watched The Godsend. I watched The Outing when I got this, but I never watched The Godsend. When a strange woman has her baby at the Marlowe house, then disappears, Kate Marlowe is forced to keep the baby. Bonnie, she loves the child, but when her own children are systematically killed, suspicion turns to Bonnie. There you go. Next up, this was going for like $100 on Amazon, New Year's Evil. Now, I think, ironically, Kino put this out. Am I right? I know it got re-released somewhere. And the irony is, why is this morally better than Sleepaway Camp? Maybe I'm just bitter. Again, I own the sleepaway camps, but it's the people that want them that are so upset. It's not right. It's not right. But I have the Scream Factory Blu-ray. I never got the Kino one for one reason or another. I just felt like I was pretty happy with the Scream Factory one. So this is the one I got, and I've stuck with it. Big fan of New Year's Evil. I covered the song. I did the. How does that song go? I covered it for my buddy Brandon. Did a home movie, a New Year's Evil. Home movie's not right because it's actually shot really well. It's a fan film for New Year's Evil, and I covered that song and it's on there. So check that out. You can hear my version of it. I went way more Dio with it than the way it was originally recorded. I put like a Dio spin on it. Next up, this is where I'll end up if I keep buying movies without telling my wife. That's Prison. Or she'll end up there, not me. This needs a 4K. I know that's kind of like a maybe brash of me to say, but this is a classic Empire title with Rennie Harlan directing, the great Rennie Harlan, who I think's got a Strangers movie coming out pretty soon, which is cool. He's got a Strangers movie coming out, but Prison's great. This, I think Buchler did the effects. It's a great movie. You've got, what's that actor's name? He's got a weird name. Viggo Mortensen. Yeah, Viggo Mortensen's on this, and he's great. I love this movie. This is one of my favorite Scream Factory titles I ever got when it came out. Prison's great, man. Love this. I think this you could probably get this for about $50-$60, maybe a little bit cheaper. But it's out of print, man. What can I say? I don't know why this one's out of print. I think they warned people, which was nice of them to do, but, you know, why can't you keep Prison in print? Like, what's the deal with that? So this is funny. This came out from Vinegar Syndrome. I own the Scream Factory version, and funnily enough, I still have it in the shrink wrap. I've been meaning to watch this movie, I just haven't watched it. So, I'm the idiot who still has the Scream Factory version in the shrink wrap. So, good old CHH hasn't seen everything. Yes, I've seen a lot of movies, and I've been doing this for a while, and, you know, I've got a pretty good knowledge on stuff, but my dumb ass has not seen The Incredible Melting Man, and I still have it in the shrink wrap. And the funny thing is, you guys are really going to laugh at this. I bought this when it was probably 6 months out of print from Scream Factory because I was like, holy crap, I need to see this movie. Now, it looks incredible. I mean, it really looks fun as hell. Now, if you want this and you're saying, oh, Christian, that looks really cool, Vinegar Syndrome put this out. Now, I don't know how much better it looks. I think it's a 4K. This is a Blu-ray that's just released as a 1080p, 1977. It looks wild as hell. I need to just stop being a bitch and watch The Incredible Melting Man. But I've also kept it in the shrink wrap, so let me ask you guys a question. I'll wait for the comments. Should I sell this and get the get the Vinegar Syndrome one? Do you think this is worth more money because it's still in the shrink wrap, or what? Let me know, because I've never pulled out the shrink wrap. The Incredible what can I say? So you don't have to pay money for that. You can go to Vinegar Syndrome and get that, because like I said, they put that out. Man, this is a release that I get offers on this one all the time. And I understand why now. I didn't understand why for a while. This is the Troll and Troll 2 release, which is really cool. Obviously, Troll 2, aka the best, worst movie ever made. Apparently, the initial release of this was special because of this. It actually came with said documentary, best, worst movie. Now, I think it came out, I think they re-released this not very long after it initially came out, and it did not have the documentary. So I think what makes mine special is it's the original press with the best, worst movie, which I gotta say, the documentary is riveting, because you kind of see what happens to these people after the fact, and unfortunately the mom of the family, she looked like she took a turn for the worse and had some unfortunate kind of like mental problems, and we don't know what happened in her personal life, but it's very sad. It's very sad what happened to the mom. But I do love the documentary. It's all through the eyes of the dad, mostly. But it was produced by the kid in the movie. I think the documentary was actually produced by the kid. It's incredible. I think you can get the best worst movie documentary easily. You can find it somewhere, but man, what a great documentary. It's one of my favorite documentaries. But I do like Troll and Troll 2 a lot. Troll 2 I do think is... I don't think it's oversold. I think it's sold perfectly, that it is one of the best worst movies ever made. Next up, another one I still have in the shrink wrap like a jackass. Exterminator II. This one's got like that tight cellophane wrap on it. Don't know anything about these movies. Truthfully, I have Exterminator 1. I think I got that from Synapse. And this I got, Exterminator 2 I got from Scream Factory. They got part 2, strangely enough. This is one of those weird instances where part 1 is on a different label and part 2, which is weird. Scream Factory got part 2. If you can't get... It's weird. Like, I feel like if I was in charge of this kind of stuff, I would say, okay, if I can't get part 2... I mean, if I can't get part 1, why would I put out part 2? But then again, on the flip side of it, why would you put out part 2? Because people will buy it, I guess. It's just weird. I did a video about this. When horror movie sequels come out on different labels, how do people feel about it? Most people are annoyed by it. And other people, I kind of fall on this side, but I also get both sides of the coin. It's just like, what can you do? Control the controllable. You got no control over crap like that. So, don't know a damn thing about the Exterminator films. I really don't, guys. I really don't. So this is an interesting situation. So what I want to show with these are the individual releases with the slipcovers. I could not find these available online, especially like ready to ship on Amazon, but you can buy this Blu-ray double pack, and it said there was like 6 or 7 left in stock. But this is the Jeepers Creepers releases. Now these are the separate releases, the Scream Factory collector's versions. I don't know if these are legitimately out of print or if it's just the single releases that are out of print. You can still get the Blu-ray Scream Factory editions in this multi-pack. But these, I'm kind of wishy-washy on these, so I don't know. But clearly, as you can see, I got these when they first came out. This part 1. This movie was very pivotal at a point in my life when it came out, so... You know, it's just one of those movies. It was everywhere for a while. And then part 2, I like the artwork better on part 2. I like the look of everything on this. You can see I got a little bit of a crease on that. I might do a video about slipcovers and give my take on it and really open up a dialogue about it. I've been wanting to do that. I think I might do that soon. Anyway, I think these are technically out of print, but I'm not sure. The research I looked up, which wasn't a whole lot, it looked like these are kind of difficult to get at at least a fair market price. But you can get that multi-pack. But I think a lot of collectors would prefer these as opposed to that multi-pack. Because I doubt that would carry the special features. Next up, guys, we've got the Garbage Pail Kids, the movie. Look at that. Yeah. And you can reverse the art. Let's reverse the art because I think it's the original poster. Yeah, let's reverse it. I like this movie, but it's not as gross as I wanted it to be. Which I read about that from the start when I found that out. That it wasn't. It was trying to figure out who it was trying to be for, I think, and you know, that sort of thing. There it is. Garbage. How do you guys like that better? The Garbage Pail Kids, the movie. Look at that. This was rumored to be coming out from Vinegar Syndrome, but we never found anything else about that, so I don't know what's going on with this movie. I'm glad I have this because the truth is, we all say, oh no, it's going to come back around, it's going to come back around, it's going to hit Blu-ray, blah, blah, blah. But the truth is, you never really know. It sounds like the Sleepaway Camps ain't coming out, guys, and it sucks. And the Garbage Pail Kids, people thought this was coming from Vinegar Syndrome. It sounds like a Vinegar Syndrome title, but unfortunately it never happened. So maybe not. So if that's the case, I'm glad I got this. So Garbage Pail Kids, the movie, y'all. Next up, I remember this going out of print. Not a huge deal because this is now available from Arrow Video. This is the Dungeon Master and Eliminators multi-pack. Dungeon Master is one of my favorite movies, guys. One of my favorite Empire movies, excuse me. It's a truly, I hate the word underrated because everybody uses it every single day. But the reality is, in my opinion, which is an oxymoronic statement, Dungeon Master really is a good movie that not enough people genuinely have seen / talked about. So I actually think Dungeon Master is underrated. And it's got the great Wasp performing in it. What else do you want? Eliminators. I don't think Eliminators was in... Now that I think about it, Eliminators wasn't in Empire. I don't think. Dolls, Dungeon Master, Arcade, Robot Jocks. Maybe Eliminators was in there. Oh, no, and Cellar Dweller. No, so Eliminators wasn't in there. So, I don't know what's going on with Eliminators. Is this... Maybe it's out of print right now. I don't know. Next up, we got to talk about The Beast Within, man. This movie needs to get a 4K. It's a great movie. I thought I was about to watch a werewolf film. I was wrong. And that's all I'll say about The Beast Within. This movie is great, written by the great Tom Holland. So right there, you should know, okay, we're cooking with gas and fire right now, if it's written by Tom Holland. Great movie. It's a vicious, mean movie, man. Let me show you the opposite artwork on it. Flip this around for you guys. See, when I flipped the art, this is what made me think I was watching a werewolf movie. Made me think I was watching a werewolf movie. I was not. Got to go back to Dolls, y'all. Again, this is happily available on from the Empire of Screams box set, my favorite box set of last year. But the Scream Factory release was nice. You know, it was nice, but I do think that the Empire one had a little bit of a bump in it. Maybe I just was convincing myself of that, but I remember really enjoying the look of the Empire one, the Empire of Screams box set one. So, yeah, hell of a movie. It's funny when you start asking people Dolls or Reanimator, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised, and the reference is Stuart Gordon. Really, it's not necessarily Empire, but Stuart Gordon specifically. You would be surprised how many people will tell me, "Oh no, I prefer Dolls, Christian. Like I love Reanimator, but Dolls was that was it for me. Was when I was young, it scared the shit out of me." So there you go. So out of print from Scream Factory, but available from Arrow Video under the Empire release. Got to go to the sleepaway camps again. I just want to reiterate, you know, very unfortunate about this. If the Kino rumor is true, you know, here's part 2. We'll look at that. Not a huge fan of this artwork. You know, it's not my favorite. I could reverse them, but what's the point right now? You know. And then, of course, Sleepaway Camp 3. I actually got these at FYE, and when I got this one, it came with the slipcover. This is right when they started. They were doing the blue at the top. You know. Then they stopped doing that after a while. You know what I mean? And then they just kind of made, like, slipcovers with just the full art. Some collectors don't like the blue. You know. I'm pretty indifferent with slipcovers. There are circumstances. I'll do a video about that because I'd like to talk about that. I'd like to feel the room out on that. You know. I gotta go with the Vagrant next. The last 3 are home runs, by the way. Gotta go with the Vagrant next. This is available from Arrow Video. I think with the 2K scan. Yeah, 2K scan on that. But great movie, Bill Paxton. It's really fun. Early 90s movie. Really has the. It's the remnants of 80s horror, but it's a good movie. I really recommend The Vagrant. Definitely check this one out, guys. Look at that. Look at that picture on the inside. Yeah, check this movie out. It's really fun. Really fun 80s style horror movie in the early 90s. This is one of the most sought after Scream Factory titles, especially with the slipcover. I'm talking about Michael Mann's Manhunter. Look at that. This is... I say all the time, hands in a way, hands down, everything, put it together. This is better than Red Dragon, in my humble opinion, because Red Dragon just feels like the blueprint American not AI, because that's disrespectful, and there's great performances in Red Dragon, but if you want style, if you want sleekness, if you want that Miami Vice, you want something with a genuine identity, you go to Manhunter. And Brian Cox, man. Let's talk about Brian Cox for a second. As Lecter. Because, yeah, of course, Lecter was in here. He was Lecter. It's a great job. I mean, he does a great job. Is it as iconic as Silence of the Lambs? It's not. Silence of the Lambs is one of the best movies ever, in my humble opinion. But if you want a great Red Dragon, you go to Manhunter. That's just my opinion. I love Red Dragon, the movie. But this is... Let me put it to you like this. Red Dragon is pop music. Manhunter is new wave. Or it's punk rock. It's a very refined, definite type of genre. The pop genre is trying to please multiple people, but if you're a fan of new wave, if you're a fan of synth, if you're a fan of something very, very specific with a specific feel, shit, forget about it. Manhunter's the way to go. Got this at Best Buy years ago. Found it on the shelves. I wasn't using Amazon back then, guys. I just wasn't. That's just the facts. Wasn't using Amazon, so I got this, and lo and behold, it went out of print. Manhunter, you can kind of get it on some like Lecter box Blu-ray collections, I think, but yeah, it's a shame. Next up, we got Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I mean, this is still a great release. The Vinegar Syndrome release, I think, objectively is the best one, because it looks like they ported over all the special features, if not most of them, from this one, and then they had another third disc of features. But this was when this came out from Scream Factory, this is when Scream Factory was literally on top of the world. Like, when I say nobody could touch them, nobody could touch them. You know, they had their time in the sun. Now, they're still around, obviously, and they're doing great things, but I look back on this era as such a fond era. I love this release to death. Love it so much. So, and last but not least, my favorite horror movie of all time, the Blu-ray release for The Return of the Living Dead. Now, this is I almost bought like that mega bundle, but I just got the bundle that came with the poster art of this. This is still one of my favorite Blu-ray releases of all time. They did incredible things on this Blu-ray release, because what they did was really, prove a point that, we can get other stuff ported over. Because they got More Brains on here. I mean, it was sensational. More Brains, a documentary. I'd have people that would own this, and they would see me talk about More Brains, and like, hey, where's that DVD? Where can I get it? I said, it's on your Blu-ray. Put in the second disc. And they're like, what? I'm like, yes, it's on there. It's just incredible release. So the 4K is great. It still has everything on there as well, but I look back to this as just a momentous time. There it is, guys. That is a lot of my out-of-print stuff. I'm sure there's some I missed, but that was fun. It's fun to look back, and it's kind of sad to know that a lot of the stuff is out of print, but, it's hard to say. There's the expression, what goes around comes around, which is kind of used in a different way, really about karma. But for me, what I mean by that is what goes out of print comes back in print, sort of thing, but not always. It's a Russian roulette game, guys. It's hard to say. Use your best judgment. Go with your gut on this stuff. Unless you're a bad luck Brian, then don't go with your gut. But anyway, guys, let me know what out of print titles you have or want. This is your old pal CHH. I'll see you guys next time. Huge giant thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. To get behind the scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and much more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you to my patrons.